On TV, Taraba News tonight. Taraba State Commissioner for Budget and Planning charges government revenue-generating agencies to brace up to their responsibilities. FRSC commandant in Taraba State mourns souls lost in recent road crash, announces measures to stem carnage on the highways. Plus, Taraba-based NGO trains 400 Tarabans on Village Savings and Loan Association. Hello and welcome. I am Achon Sabo Danjuma with the news tonight. Many thanks for joining us. The Taraba State Commissioner for Budget and Planning, Honorable Solomon Elisha, has charged government ministries, departments and agencies to be more committed in the collection of internally generated revenue, which will facilitate the implementation of the 2022 budget. Honorable Solomon Elisha gave the charge this Monday in Jalingo, the Taraba State capital, while briefing newsmen on internal revenue generation target and expenditure contained in the 2022 budget. Correspondent picks up the story from here. Honorable Solomon Elisha explained that the budget tagged Budget of Hope and Consolidation will only be fully and adequately implemented if government revenue-generating agencies vigorously collect and remit internal revenue to the government purse to finance the budget and the high expectations of Tarabans. He declared that the time of depending on external financial sources for the implementation of government budget is over and asked relevant agencies to explore the abundant untapped resources in the state for the realization of the provisions and target of the 2022 budget.
Below is the summary of the revenue estimates for the year 2022. Revenue item. Opening balance. Our 2022 opening balance was to the tune of 350 million naira, about 2.00%. Recurring revenue as approved in the 2022 budget is 79 billion 973 million 734,050 naira .11 kobo. Statutory allocation. In the 2022 approved budget, the sum of 50 billion 662 million 234,050 kobo 50 naira .11 kobo, that is 33.00%. was allocated for this subhead. Value added tax VAT 19 billion naira, about 12%, 12.00%. Independent generated revenue IGR. What is accrued in the approved 2022 budget is 10 billion 311 million 500,000 naira. 00 kobo, about 6.66%. Capital receipts got its own share of 69 billion 461 million 162,346 naira 71 kobo. Aids and grants 18 billion 373 million 419,724 naira 0 kobo, 12.24%. Loans has in the 2022 approved budget a sum of 22 billion 32 billion 232 million 406,581 518 naira 82 kobo, a percentage of 21.15%. Other capital received FG support facilities 18 billion 855,336,103 naira 89 kobo, percentage of 12.60%. When you sum all the resource profile, you should be able to arrive at the total budget size of 144,784,896,396 naira 82 kobo.
Honorable Solomon Elisha further gave a summary of the recurrent expenditure and capital expenditure for the fiscal year.
Overhead costs 23,388,657,907 naira 55 kobo, 29.67%. Social benefits 1,124,800,000.0 kobo, 1.70%. Grants and subsidies to the tune of 390,012,139 naira 0 kobo, 0.5%. Debt servicing 13,713,862,185 naira 0.35 kobo, 17.36%. The total recorded expenditure is to the tune of 78,587,679 naira 0.90 kobo, which is the 100% for the recurrent expenditure. Capital expenditure. Below is the breakdown of the capital expenditure based on some sectors. Administration. The administration sector approved in the 2020 budget will go up the sum of 6,099,182,564 naira 0.20 kobo, with a percentage of 8.51%. The economic sector will go up the sum of 40,113,942,602 naira 90 kobo, percentage of 55.94%. Law and justice will go up the sum of 2,662,563,199 naira 0.60 kobo, a percentage of 3.71%. Social services 22,836,620,350 naira 0.22 kobo, 31.84%. When you sum it, you got the total of 71,112,308,716 naira 0.92 kobo, making a percentage of 100%.
On sectoral allocations, Honorable Solomon Elisha said over 36 billion naira has been allocated to the administrative sector. Economic sector received over 65 billion naira, social services sector with over 41 billion naira. Judiciary was allocated with over 6 billion naira. The commissioner described the 2022 appropriation law as people's budget because Tarabans were involved in its preparations through their representatives. 400 people selected from Ukari and Ibi local government areas of Taraba State recently attended a 2-day capacity building training on Village Savings and Loan Association. The program, which held at Lenkon Event Center in Ukari, Taraba State, was organized by a non-governmental organization, Taraba Advocacy and Rehabilitation Foundation. Our reporter Hassan Garba completes the story.
The Village Savings and Loans Association is a program sponsored by the UNDP and Japanese government with the support of Taraba State government. aimed at empowering 400 petty traders in Wukari and Ibe local government areas of the state with grants to support their businesses and mitigate the effect of crisis and COVID-19 pandemic. The two-day training program introduced the participants to the art of prudent business management to ensure judicious utilization of the grants provided to them. In his address at the training, the CEO of Tari Foundation, an implementing NGO of the program, Mr. Samuel Tari, explained that the project the foundation is working on plans to empower petty traders to grow their businesses and add value to their lives. He disclosed that at the end of the training, participants will be empowered with various sums and that a monitoring and supervision mechanism is already in place to ensure judicious management of the resource. According to him, Tari Foundation has been complementing government effort in the areas of health and economic empowerment.
Actually, this project is a very good project. I want to call it a project that empowers people to the next level of living. Actually, if you look at the nature of the project, which I want to tell you that 400 beneficiaries will benefit from this empowerment through village service and loan association scheme. We are going to train them on how to manage their resources, on how to multiply their resources. If given at the end of the day, after their graduation today, they will be able to be empowered with resources that will improve their own business.
The representative of the Secretary to the Government of Taraba State, Mr. Koku Agbo Koku, said the program is taking place in 3 states and commended the Tari Foundation for being one of the 4 implementing NGO and partners of the programs. According to him, without the peace process of Governor Darius Dixon Ishaku, the program could not have been successful and urged the participants to put to practice lessons learned at the training.
So this program was being formed to help those people that have been affected by the crisis, that is the farmer sellers crisis, and those people that have been affected by the impact of the COVID-19. So this program is being carried out in 3 states, that is Benue, Taraba, and Nasarawa State. It has 4 components and 4 implementing partners. We have the Tari Foundation, we have the Hope for Peace Foundation, we have the Taraba SEMA, we have the TADP Taraba. They are the implementing partners that will help to implement this program.
A senior member of the Tari Foundation, Mrs. Lucy Samuel, in her remarks told the gathering and participants to be good steward over whatever will be given to them to improve their economic base. In their goodwill messages, the Vice Chairman of Wukari and Ibe Local Government Councils, who represented their principals, commended the Tari Foundation, UNDP and the Japanese government for choosing Wukari and Ibe as part of the implementation areas of the project. They advised the participants to maximize the opportunity availed to them by the program to add value to their economic base.
I want to, on behalf of the entire people of Wukari, to send our sincere appreciation and to thank you for choosing Wukari to be part of this intervention program.
Wani hidimar su kuma suke yi na sun kawo nasu kama don wani abin da babin ta karya ba saboda ku yi amfani da shi ta gudun kasuwanci ba duk wajen kuma ka ja ba kudin ka je ka yi aure ba.
Participants at the program were full of appreciation to the Tari Foundation for the opportunity given them.
I want to thank God for this program because this program will bring fruitfulness into our lives because we are suffering. For instance, I used to fry gari kwachi, but now as cassava is high, for us to get money to start the business is very difficult to us. So we know that with this program, things will be easy for us.
Wannan program gaskiya yana da kyau. Program nan an taimake mu ne mun da ba mu da komai na yi, ba mu karɓar salary. Program nan yana da daɗi sosai. Mun ji daɗin program nan. Program nan mun an ba mu program nan an tallafe mu ne mu samu mu nima Allah kuma ya sake kara mana.
Hassan Garba, TV Taraba News.
The Taraba State Command of the Federal Road Safety Corps says the command will soon constitute a mobile court to try traffic offenders in the state. The commandant of the corps, Mrs. Selina Larry Williams, disclosed this on Monday in Jalingo, Taraba state capital, while responding to questions on road crashes and loss of lives on the highways in the state. Correspondent Rahila Dearsley completes the story.
The commandant expressed deep concern over the recent road accidents that occurred between Jalingo and Motumbiu, which claimed 8 people and a number of injured in critical condition. Attributing the cause of the accident to tire burst, though the road safety boss warned commercial and private vehicle owners to always ensure proper maintenance of their vehicle to guide against road mishap.
After our investigation is that he was not even the actual driver. It's like a boy that is supposed to drive, the boy driving, not a young boy, but it's not the actual driver. The actual driver was in the next village after Iwari. He was to go and meet him so that he can take over, because that vehicle was going to the east, Enugu, Jalingo, Enugu. As Zebra 41 were there to carry those who were injured straight to the hospital, and the dead bodies were carried by Zebra 24. It was true, it happened.
On the level of collaboration between the command and other relevant agencies, Mrs. Williams commended sister agencies for their partnership, expressing hope that it will be sustained in the new year to reduce road accidents.
We are going to start mobile court. The mobile court was supposed to have started, that was on 14th, but because of problems, some unforeseen circumstances, we shifted it to 18th. So we are going to have clamp down. We are going to clamp down on all unregistered vehicles, all vehicles that don't have number plates, vehicles, drivers that don't have driver's license, and also other offenses.
Mrs. Williams also used the medium to warn motorists to desist from bribing FRSC personnel, adding that anyone caught will face the wrath of the law.
So beg you people, if there is accident that happen, let us know on time. Call us. We have our numbers. 122 is a distress number. You can always get. It's toll free. You are not paying anything. Once you dial 122, you talk everything you want to talk. You can even take 1 hour and be talking. There are nobody who will charge you. Let us know on time. An accident has occurred, and we will be there promptly. And in fact, we have been receiving people who have been complying. So keep it up.
Rahila Dearsley, TV Taraba News.
The online registration for the Nigerian Navy Batch 33 recruitment exercise has commenced. A statement signed and issued by Mr. Columbus Garba on behalf of the Secretary to the Government of Taraba State advised interested Tarabans to go online and log on to www.joinnigeriannavy.com to register. The statement further advised interested candidates to comply strictly with guidelines in filling the online recruitment form. We'll bring you more stories shortly after this break. Stay with us. You're watching TV Taraba News at 7:30. If you're just joining us, you're welcome. Now the news continues. Mother tongue, often used interchangeably with native language, is a language of ethnic groups. Besides being a tool of communication, mother tongue allows people to understand and appreciate their ancestral background and cultural heritage. Correspondent takes a look at the readiness of parents to teach their young ones the mother tongue from birth and the risk of extinction in the face of globalization. The report. The term mother tongue generally refers to an inborn language acquired by people from birth. According to research, native language identifies a culture's ethnic identity and is a carrier of a country's intangible heritage. Research has also shown that, apart from being a strong binding force, native language is the most precious gift given to humanity by the Creator. As important as native language is to mankind, many of these languages are disappearing at an alarming rate due to assimilation, enforced relocation by war, educational disadvantage, poverty, migration, intermarriages, and other forms of discrimination and human rights violations. Recent predictions by the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization (UNESCO) indicates that 90% of native languages might disappear within 100 years from now, which could lead to the loss of unique traditional knowledge, cultural heritage and ancestral memories. When contacted, some language experts in Jalingo, the Taraba state capital, attributed the disappearance of minority languages to globalization, modernization, and the blending of the international community.
If a language is endangered, that means the native speakers of that language, they may not have their written materials and they cannot speak the language. And other factors that led to this endangerment or extinction of the language is one, famine, but there's a war. War is one of the factors. Many of that speech communities will be killed or they may transfer, migrate from that particular area.
This study is very important. There is no developed country in the world that are not using their language. All the developed countries you know in the world, because if you are not using your language, just like in Nigeria now, instead of us to have a national language, we are using English. Automatically, we don't have secret.
According to them, in order to salvage the endangered languages, there is need for language revitalization, which involves the government coming up with language policies that allows for native language teaching in schools, as well as parents sitting up to the responsibility of teaching their children from birth.
A particular situation whereby a particular speech community lost its native speakers. Let me give an example of one language in Bani local government. There's one language called Fam. Fam is at the verge of extinction now. Fam. It is language that found around Mehuja, Sabangida, and Kungana.
Some students or some parents, even if they take their children to schools, when they come back, they started speaking English. If the boy cannot able to speak well, you say he's maybe a backward. It's not like that. Intelligence is different from language, and there are some students he's very intelligent and able to write something. The only thing, the barrier is that he cannot able to speak well, so he will get less point than the person. And there are some with good English, but he don't have the intelligence. And there's no whether he will write.
A cross-section of youths and children interviewed on whether they speak their native languages have this to say.
You learn dialect by interaction. It's something you grow up with. Dialect is not something you learn. As you are growing, it's already in you.
I don't actually like people that speak our travel, so we grew up just like English and class. It doesn't do because it doesn't want us to learn it. So I don't feel anything. I prefer the one I'm speaking.
Well, I think yes, I want to learn it.
It is imperative for parents to teach children their native languages in order to preserve their cultural heritage from the threat of globalization, which could eventually lead to the extinction of such languages with time. Achan Sabo Danjuma, TV Taraba News. A fire incident, the cause of which was attributed to electrical fault, burnt down the building at ATC Jalingo in Taraba State, destroying property worth thousands of naira. Our reporter Hassan Garba completes the report.
The fire incident, according to eyewitness, started midnight on Sunday, the 16th of January 2022, when the occupants of the building were asleep. According to the owner of the building raised down by the fire, Mr. Rimantanu Luka, everything in the building was completely lost to the inferno. He said foodstuff and several other valuables were all destroyed in the incident.
What happened is that around 11 o'clock in the night, when everywhere is quiet, we just saw light, fire. We just saw fire burning from the other room. Outside, you go outside, the fire has already covered the veranda and the room and the veranda. I run to this side, try to open this side to enter, whether I can rescue the granite or anything to rescue something here. But there was a cushion here. Oh, fire is burning in the cushion, cover the door, so I cannot be able to go in. I tried to remove some plate only. Then everything here, it burned down. There's no anything come out.
He appealed to public spirited individuals and government to assist him in any way possible to come out of his present predicament. Hassan Garba, TV Taraba News.
And to end the news, avoid large gatherings this festive season. In public, wear a mask and maintain a distance of at least 2 meters. Celebrate responsibly. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the Hausa translations. From me and the entire production crew, it's good night.
Assalamu alaikum jama'a, tare da salama. Barkamu da haka, barkamu da sake saduwa cikin fasarar labarai cikin harshen Hausa. Daga ne Kabiru Ibrahim fassara kuma zan karanto. An buƙaci ma'aikatu da hukumomin gwamnatin wannan jiha da sa himma sosai wurin samar da jiha kuɗin shiga. Kwamishinan ma'aikatar kasafi da tsare da na jiha Honorable Solomon Elisha ne ya gabatar da buƙatar hakan yayin da yake manema labarai bayani dangane da kundin kasafin kuɗin wannan jiha na shekara 2022 da kuma abin da ya kusa. Ga fassarar rahoton. Kwamishinan ya taɓa zance ne na adadin kuɗaɗe da jiya take tsammanin samun daga kuɗin shiga da sauran wurare domin aiwatar da ayyukan ci gaba. Yana mai cewa za a cimma nasarar aiwatar da kasafin ne matukar hukumomi da ma'aikatu na gwamnati sun yi aiki tukuru wurin tara jiha kuɗin shigarta. Ya kuma ce lokaci ne na yin dogaro kan wani abu da zai zo daga wajen jiha ya wuce, don haka dole ne jiha ta tashi ta tatsi abin da Ubangiji ya huwace mata daga albarkatun ƙasa domin tsayawa da kafafunta. Daga nan sai kasafta yadda kasafin kuɗin kowace hukuma za ta kasance, inda aka ware wa ɓangaren gudanarwa da aikin gwamnati sama da biliyan 36 na naira. Ɓangaren tattalin arziki ko ya samu sama da biliyan 65, da ayyuka na walwalar jama'a ko shi ne ya samu sama da biliyan 41, sai na shari'a da aka warewa sama da naira biliyan 6. A ƙarshe ya bayyana kasafin kuɗin banan da na 2022 a matsayin kasafin kuɗin jama'a, saboda an yi la'akari ne da 'yan Taraba wurin gabatar da kasafin. Mutum 400 ne aka zakulo daga ƙananan hukumomin Kari da Ibbi domin cin wani gajiyar shiri da wata ƙungiya mai zaman kanta daga wannan jiha mai suna Taraba Advocacy and Rehabilitation Foundation ta shirya horo domin ba su horarwa kan abin da ya shafi adana rance ga al'ummar karkara. Hassan Garba na da rahoton da aka fassara zuwa ga wannan zaure. Shirin na bayar da rance da adana ne ga jama'ar karkara, shiri na haɗin gwiwa da hukumomin UNDP da gwamnatin ƙasar Japan da goyon bayan gwamnatin jiha domin kyautata rayuwa da samarwa sama da mutum 400 aikin yi a ƙananan hukumomin Ibbi da Ukari domin ƙarfafa musu gwiwa da rage raɗaɗi na rikici a wannan yanki. Mr. Samuel Tarin da ya jawabi inda ya ce gidauniyar tasu na aiki ne domin ƙananan 'yan tireda domin su haɓaka kasuwancinsu saboda bunƙasa rayuwarsu. Ya kuma ce a ƙarshen horon za a baiwa kowane mahalarci horon wani abu na hasafi domin gudanar da harka tare da samar da dabarun sanya musu ido domin su tabbatar da amfani da abin da aka ba su ta inda ya dace. An samu jawabai da dama da yabo daga jama'a waɗanda suka jinjina ƙungiyoyi masu zaman kansu da kuma gwamna Darius Dutsen Ishaku, wanda ba don goyon bayansa ba shirin ba zai cimma nasara ba. An samu sakonnin fata alheri daga mataimakin shugaban karamar hukumar Wukari da na Ibbi da suka yaba waɗanda suka samar da shirin. Daga nan kuma suka shawarci waɗanda za su ci gajiyarsa da su baiwa shirin muhimmanci su yi abin da ya dace. Su ma waɗanda ke cikin shirin cikin farin ciki suka nuna godiya da yabo ga gidauniyar ta ƙungiyoyi masu zaman kansu. Nan ba da jimawa ba za a samar da kotunan tafi da gidanka a wannan jiha domin hukunta waɗanda ke saba ka'ida ko dokokin tuki a wannan jiha. Babbar kwamanda ta shiya ta babbar kwamandar rundunar kula da haɗura ta ƙasa da ke wannan jiha uwar gida Selina Lare Williams ce ta gabatar da wannan gargaɗi a yadda take nuna baƙin ciki da alhininta kan wani haɗari da ya rutsa da wasu akan hanyar Jalingo zuwa mutum biyu. Ga fasar rahoton Rahila Desley. Jagorar rundunar ta dogarawa hanya ta nuna rashin jin daɗinta kan haɗarin da ya auku kwanan nan kan hanyar Jalingo zuwa mutum biyu da ya laƙume rayuka 8 tare da raunata da dama, inda ta gargaɗi matuƙa ababen hawa da na masu zaman kansu da su rika binciken lafiyar ababen hawansu domin kaucewa haɗari. Dangane da aikin su haɗin gwiwa da sauran hukumomi kuwa, uwar gida Selina yabawa ta yi da kyakkyawar alaƙar aiki da ke tsakaninsu, inda ta yi fata hakan zai ɗore a wannan shekara domin rage yawan haɗura. Sai ta amfani da damar wurin miƙa gargaɗi ga masu ababen hawa da su guji baiwa jami'an hukumar kiyaye haɗura cin hanci, domin duk wanda aka samu da laifin zai fuskanci hushin hukuma. Nan ga wata muhimmiyar sanarwa ce ga masu buƙatar aikin soji musamman na ruwa da ta zo a cikin wannan labaran a dakacin. Ana sanar da jama'a musamman masu buƙatar shiga aikin soji na ruwa da cewa an suma rijistar neman shiga aikin ta yanar gizo. A sanar da Mr. Columbus Garba ya sanya wa hannu a madadin sakataren gwamnatin jiha na shawartar duk wani ko wata 'yar wannan jiha da ke da sha'awar aikin sojin na ruwa da ya je ko ta je ta yi rijista ta shafi yanar gizo. Ana sa ran cewa za a rufe rijistar ne a ranar Lahadi 13 ga watan Fabrairu na 2022. Harshen uwa harshe ne na rukunin mutane ko jama'a masu ɗabi'a da al'ada iri guda da suka gada daga kaka da kakanni, da ke zama wata kafa ta miƙa saƙo a tsakaninsu. Sai dai a wannan karo, Ashon Sabo Juma ta yi nazari kan dalilin ɓalɓalcewa ko masu kurkucewa da koyar da harshen uwa da ma tasiri ko akasin haka da ke faruwa a tsakanin al'umma. Ga fassarar rahoton na Ashon Sabo Juma. Harshen uwa dai na samuwa ne a tsakanin rukunin jama'a masu alaƙa da al'ada da ɗabi'a iri guda da suka gada daga kaka da kakanni. Bincike ya nuna cewa wannan na daga cikin wani ni'ima da Ubangiji ya wa ɗan adam. Sai dai zamani yana ƙoƙarin ɓaɓɓaltar da dogaro da harshen uwa a sanadiyar wayewar kai irin na ilimin zamani da kuma yadda wasu harsuna ke naso zuwa cikin wasu, da ma wasu da ke ƙoƙarin ɓacewa a doron ƙasa a sanadiyar naso da kuma sakacin iyaye. Bayan nan kuma ƙaurace-ƙaurace da talauci da yaƙe-yaƙe na daga cikin abubuwan da ke wargaza buƙatar harshen uwa. Da aka tuntuɓi wasu manazarta harshe a nan fadar jiha ko ra'ayoyi daban-daban ne suka gabatar dangane da batun rashin martaba harshen uwa. A cewar su, idan har ana son shawo kan matsalar, dole a fasalta yadda ake amfani da harshe, kuma sai gwamnati ta shigo da sabbin tsare-tsare da za su bayar da damar karantarwa da harshen uwa a makarantu. Su ma iyaye su dage kan haƙƙin da ya rataya a wuyansu na koya wa yara harshe daga haihuwa. Akwai dai muhimmanci iyaye su janyo 'ya'ya a jika tare da nuna musu harshe su na asali na da muhimmanci. Nan kuwa wata gobara ce mummuna mai nasaba da wutar lantarki ta wani gini da abin da ke cikin sa mummunan lahani tare da ƙunar shi ƙurmus. Hassan Garba da ya kasance ganau ne ya jiyo mana tare da kawo mana rahoton yadda abin ya kasance. Ga fassarar rahoton na Hassan Garba. Shaidan gani da ido ya bayyana cewa lamarin ya auku ne a daren 16 ga watan Janairun 2022 a yayin da masu gidan ke tsakiyar barci, inda shi kansa mai gidan Mr. Rimantano Luka ya bayyana cewa wutar ta laƙume ilahirin ginin, a sanadiyar haka an yi asarar kayayyakin abinci da wasu muhimman abubuwa da dama. Daga nan ya roƙo ga jama'a da kuma gwamnati da su tallafa masa. To da wannan rahoto na wannan ja'iba da ya faru muke kammala fassarar rahoton namu tare da fatan ubangiji ya mai da fiye da abin da aka rasa. Masu gidaje da ofisoshi ko rika kulawa a rika dai tabbatar da cewa an kashe ko menene kafin da ya kumciya. To Kabiru Ibrahim ke cewa sai jiko masu
Shout out to my one and only. Now you be my Alabama. In game, you're one in a million. Shout out to my baby honey. Now you be my girl, you. Baby, you're one in a billion. I demand you love. Ṣùgbọ́n àlàáfíà. I demand you lórí. Ayé wa dùn lórí. I demand you love. Ṣùgbọ́n nífọ̀kànbalẹ̀. I demand you lórí o. Òrèǹté ló lè kọ̀ǹpléènì o. Ẹ bá mi kí o òrèǹté òrèǹté o. Yálà tó máa òrèǹté òrèǹté o. Ẹ bá mi kí o òrèǹté òrèǹté o. Yálà tó máa òrèǹté òrèǹté o. Ẹ bá mi kí o òrèǹté òrèǹté. Ìyàwó mi lòrèǹté. This bell I'm saying no do. Say you no go leave me. Ọmọ ghetto lawyer, baby me to church. Say you no go leave me. Àlìmáàlì ló lọ́wọ́, ṣùgbọ́n àlàáfíà. Àlìmáàlì nílé lórí o, ayé wa dùn lórí. Àlìmáàlì ló lọ́wọ́, ṣùgbọ́n ànífọ̀kànbalẹ̀.